On today's show, a jaguar with a painful gum and very little patience, a fantastic voyage through the human body, and Ooze gets to do some investigations, all on Hot Science.
How's that? Hi and welcome to today's show. Rob, come and help me.
Oh, hello, I'm sorry. Hi.
Robin, I need you to help me with an experiment, and I need you to stand just about here.
There?
Yes, I'll just check that out. I'll just put this heavy weight on a string near your nose, and that's perfect. Would you like to hold this for me? Okay. We're going to do an experiment with this pendulum, and what you need to do is to stand still, hold the ball against your nose.
My nose?
Yes, your nose.
Okay.
And what we're going to do in a moment is let it go, and it'll go right across the street and swing back and just touch you on the nose again.
No, it won't. It'll hit me in the head. You can do it.
No, trust me. It'll work.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the important thing is to stay still. Don't lean any closer in, and don't push it when you let it go. Just let it go, OK? You ready?
Yeah.
On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, go. OK, it's over the other side of the street. It's coming back, and...
Oh, it didn't hit me.
Of course it wouldn't.
No, hang on. What would happen if I gave it a really good shove?
Well, let's test that out.
OK. 1, 2, 3.
OK, you're just going to stand there.
Out the way! It had hit me in the head. Now, why did that happen?
Well, when you held this weight up and let it go, you had a certain amount of energy. It swung across the street and came back with the same amount of energy. It couldn't go higher because it didn't have any extra energy. But it loses a little bit with friction too each time we let it go.
So it would have got less and less and less until it stood there.
Eventually it would have stopped still.
So what's all this about?
It's all about energy.
Kinetic energy and potential energy.
Oh, it's not moving. Oh, Sue, Sue.
Hello, Ooze.
Oh, hi.
Look at all these pendulums.
Yeah, I was trying to explain how potential and kinetic energy works.
We can do that with these pendulums. Did you see that great experiment I just did with Robin?
Yeah,
where
you
I pulled
nearly hit her in the
weight
head.
Back like this, and I let it go.
Wow, you nearly got me too.
You did, didn't I?
Hey.
Well, let's talk about potential and kinetic energy. They're just two types of energy, and they can get changed from one into the other. Now, potential energy is stored energy.
Right.
If you lift something up and you hold it there, it has potential energy.
Right.
And it can get changed into kinetic energy.
Wow.
Kinetic energy is moving energy. So if I let it go,
right,
it starts to move and it has kinetic energy.
Wow.
So we take this weight, hold it up
careful.
here. It's got potential energy. Okay. I'm not going to let it go this time though.
Right.
And as I let it, if I did let it go, it would change to moving energy, kinetic.
Wow.
And back to potential, and kinetic, and so forth, like that.
Whoa.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, the time it takes for a weight like this to swing from one side to the other and back is called the period.
Wow.
Okay, but before we do that, I'm going to give you some potential and kinetic energy.
Oh,
because
okay.
I just want to get you involved, just to make sure you understand.
Yep.
If I hold your hand
not
up,
too high.
it's got potential energy. If I let it go,
whoa.
it had kinetic energy. Anyway, come back here. What if we had 3 weights?
Right.
If we look at the length of the string to the bottom of the weight, for all 3, do you notice that they're the same?
Yep.
Okay, the length of the string and the weight are the same.
Right.
How do you think they're going to swing? Do you think if we push them all up to the same height and let them go, how do you think they're going to swing?
Well, they're all different sizes, so maybe they'll swing differently.
Okay, well, I'm ready to let them go. Can you give me a countdown?
Sure. 3, 2, 6.
Ooze, well, I've let them go, but notice something straight away about how they're swinging.
Yeah, they're swinging at the same time.
That's right. It doesn't matter how heavy they are.
Wow.
If the length's the same, they will swing with the same period or the same time.
Right. What about if the strings were different lengths?
Ah, we can test that out too. Look over there, Ooze, because I've got 3 pendulums.
Right.
This time they're different lengths, but they do weigh the same amount, and you'll have to trust me there.
Okay.
I'm going to push them up again, and can you give me a proper countdown
Sure.
this time?
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, that was a good countdown.
Hey!
And what do you notice about the way they're swinging?
Wow, they're all swinging differently now.
That's right. If you have a different length for your pendulum, it will have a different period.
Wow, so that's potential and kinetic energy.
Yeah.
Could you construct a paper jet that would fly 10 metres? Stay watching Hot Science.
The Adventures of Icy and Poot. Icy needed to pass on a message. He had something important to say. He decided to design the perfect flying machine. It needed to travel a long way. So he gave it his best shot, but it didn't quite make it. How would you design a paper jet that could travel a long distance?
Oh, the poor old IC. Look, he nearly had it. He just couldn't get that plane to go far enough. Now, I'm making my own paper plane over here. I think I just need to adjust the wing a little bit more, like that, and maybe one like that. That looks okay, but maybe if I just push the nose down a little bit at the front, perhaps, yeah? Okay. We're making our plane out of A4 paper, but you can make it out of anything. Now, let's see if this one will fly. He's hoping. 3, 2, 1. Not bad, it kind of went straight, but it went straight down, and we need it to go a long way. So I've got a whole team of investigators over here making some paper planes. There's Kylie and Hayley, Nick and Ben. Hello.
Hello.
Now, Hayley, what are you going to do to make this plane go a long way away?
I'm going to make the wings longer and have flaps to guide it along.
Okay, and Ben, what's going to be special about yours?
Well, I'm going to put this special bit in the nose called a cannon, and that should make it fly further.
Okay, well, we will catch up with our team of investigators a little bit later on and see how they go.
If you're ever sick, maybe the solar-powered injury healing machine can help.
What a great drawing. I think we might see one of those in the future. Well done, Daniel.
It was terrific. And did you notice that it was all powered by solar energy?
Yeah.
Well, there are lots of things that we could use that are powered by solar energy, and we've got a few of them here on the table.
Show me.
OK, but before we start, we haven't got a sun in the studio, so we're going to have to use a desk lamp. But the first thing we've got here is a solar panel.
Oh, wow, that's a solar panel.
That's all it takes, that's right. And you'll notice there's a blue material underneath the plastic, and that's the important part of the solar panel. So let's turn on the light.
Okay.
Have
like
some
that.
light. Now, it's the light, it's the energy in light, not the heat, that powers this solar panel. And we have electricity produced. If we follow the line all the way through, it comes to
The propeller, and it's going round. Now, but Sue, hang on. What would happen if I acted like a cloud and went under the light? I don't think I'd like to be on that aeroplane somehow.
It's just lost all its power. But there are lots of other things that we could use solar energy for. How about a calculator?
Yeah, wow.
OK, here's one here. And it works just like a normal calculator. We can do sums like that and get the right answer.
But it's powered by solar energy?
It is. This little panel here is the solar panel.
And it's different to this one here, but it's like the same, it works the
It's
same way?
very sensitive. You don't need very much power at all. And if I put this piece of cardboard over the top, do you notice the numbers go?
It goes away, look at that. Take it away. It comes back.
OK. So it doesn't take very much energy at all, or very much light, to power that calculator. But I've got something else as well.
It looks like a radio.
Well, we can use solar energy to power radios. What a great idea. On this side is the solar panel, and on this side is the normal radio.
There you go. Does it work?
Let's test it out.
Oh, we'd have to tune it in first, I guess.
Sorry about that. But it does work just like a normal radio. If you like that, how about this?
Wow, look at that.
Now, this is a real solar panel, the sort of thing that you'd see on the roof of somebody's house, or you might see it on a boat. And look at the lovely blue layers on top.
It's shimmering.
That's right. That blue material is a very thin layer, and it's that material which can collect solar energy and convert it to electrical energy. And on top, we've also got these thin silver wires. They collect the electrical energy and channel it away to wires so that we can use it.
Wow. Now, these solar panels are also sometimes used on satellites and spacecrafts.
Rob, I'm going to leave you now because I've got some other experiments. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye. Have you ever thought about light? Did you know that there are actually 7 colours in light? And Sue's going to be playing with those in the lab.
You've probably seen enormous rainbows after it's been raining. Have you ever made your own rainbow? Well, here's a really simple experiment, and all you need is a mirror, a bowl of water and a piece of white card. And all you do is put the mirror into the bowl of water like this and hold it at an angle and shine some light on it. Now, I haven't got a sun inside the studio. I'm just using a studio light. Let's drop all the rest of the lights down and we'll get this beautiful effect. Now, the light is shining onto the mirror and it's passing through the water. The water acts a bit like a prism. And when the light's reflected back, the colours in white light get bent, and what we get are all of the different colours spread out on the piece of card. Now, it's a bit easier to see this if you're using the sunlight, But you might be able to see, oh, I nearly lost that then. You might be able to see up the top some red, orange, yellow, and a thin bit of green. Down the bottom it's fairly easy though to see some blue, indigo and violet. There are 7 colours in the rainbow. Why don't you try making your own pocket-sized rainbow and see if you can find all 7 colours of the rainbow.
Next on Hot Science, Blackie the Jaguar and a tricky operation for the zoo vet.
Whoa, Robin, help! A snake! Help!
It's not a snake, Ooze. Calm down. It looks a bit like a snake,
Yeah.
but it's a very important medical instrument called an endoscope.
An endoscope?
Have you seen one of these before?
No.
Doctors use it to look inside people's bodies. And how
Whoa.
it works is the control panels are all down here. The doctor looks through this end here, and through fibre optics, he or she can see what's going on inside the body through here. You can move it up and down and side to side, just like
look
I'm
at that
doing.
move.
And that's why it looks a bit like a snake.
Oh, which end do you stick it in, Rob?
Put it in your mouth. The doctor puts it in your mouth, and the patient's either given a sedative or a general anaesthetic, so they go completely to sleep. Now, Ooze, there's all different types of endoscopes.
Yeah?
There's a gastroscope. What would that be to look at?
Your tummy, yeah.
Yes, your tummy. And a bronchioscope?
That's to do with your lungs or
That's
something,
right. You
isn't
can
it?
look at your lungs.
Yeah.
Now, Ooze, we are going on a very important journey. I want you to imagine you're a sandwich.
Oh, bean and seaweed, thanks.
Oh, yuck.
Yum.
I think I'll be a peanut butter sandwich. You ready?
Okay, let's go, yeah. Hey.
Okay, hang on, we're going in. Ouch! Be careful of those teeth. We're in the mouth. This is where digestion first takes place. We're broken down into small pieces and mixed with saliva. Hey, just check out those vocal cords. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, time for the big swallow. We're going down. 40 centimetres and still dropping through the esophagus. Ooh, what's that green stuff? Oh, great bile fluid. Let's paddle. Hold your nose, we're going in. Last one in the stomach's a rotten egg. Well, digestion continues here in the stomach. Wow, 80 centimetres down and still diving. You know, when the stomach growls before a meal, the stomach walls churn and squeeze. It's called a peristaltic wave. Hey, here comes one now. Surf's up. Great stuff, but we're off and through the opening and into the duodenum. More digestion occurs here. Hang 10. This is the upper part of the small intestine, and you've just turned from a thick, crusty sandwich into a creamy fluid. Yum, yum. The average person grows about 500 kilometres of hair on their head in a lifetime.
Zoos are great places to observe animals, especially in natural surroundings like these. But whatever the zoo's there for, it must ensure the well-being of the animals in its care. And the keepers play a vital role in that because the keepers know their animals better than anyone. These old cages are pretty nasty both for animals and for their keepers, but fortunately they're coming down soon. And it's inside this cage that our story really starts, because this is Blackie, a 14-year-old jaguar. And jaguars communicate by opening up their mouths and baring their teeth a lot. And when he did this, keepers noticed that Blackie had a small lump on the lower jaw, and they needed to take a closer look at it. Trouble is, how do you get a jaguar, a big and aggressive and dangerous jaguar, to open up its mouth and go, ah? He's on the endangered species list, but don't be fooled by appearances. This cool cat isn't house-trained, and it's the zoo vet's job somehow to make him easier to handle. Dr. David Schultz does this by mixing up an intramuscular anaesthetic, which can be propelled into the muscles of the jaguar using a blowpipe and an air-injected needle.
I haven't got a back-end view here, and so what I'll do is I'll try for one of the muscles in the forearm. I've got a very good shot at that, but I'll have to stand back just a fraction, because I don't want to point this there, because he can come out and actually get it. That was probably a fairly good shot, that, actually.
The first effects could be seen in about 15 minutes, and when the keepers were convinced that Blackie was under the full effect of the anaesthetic, they transported all 91 kilos of the beast out on a stretcher. This was the first time Blackie had been anaesthetised, and throughout the 2-hour operation his breathing and heart rate were monitored. For the keepers and the zoo vet, this provided a unique opportunity to view the animal close up and to look for any potential health problems without putting themselves at risk. In this state, Blackie wasn't about to argue with them.
Well, we've still got plenty of jaguar here, boys. Still got plenty. We've still got plenty of beast. OK, let's go.
The next stop was the hospital, where it was necessary to administer closed-circuit anaesthetic, which is a gas, to ensure that Blackie would indeed remain in a deep sleep, but still maintain respiration.
What we've done now is we've got a tube down into his throat, into his windpipe actually, and we'll now give him a bit of gas.
Blackie's problem was a tumour or growth on the lower jaw behind the teeth. It had to be removed using electrosurgery. The probe cuts through the tissue and cauterizes or seals the blood vessels. This sort of problem is common in household pets like cats and dogs, and if treated early enough, needn't be a problem. The vet took the opportunity to perform other tests like removing plaque from the teeth while his subject was on the operating table, and the tissue material cut away was taken and tested at a later date. Well, job completed, Blackie was taken back to the enclosure and kept warm to sleep off the effects of the anaesthetic. The operation was a success, the tumour was benign, and the wound would heal in time.
Now, don't worry about Blackie. I'm sure he's going to be fine. All he needs is a bit of rest. Now, I'm back here with our team of investigators. They've been working very hard. Ben and Nick, you've done a great job on this plane. Fantastic colours. Tell me about it.
This bit here, this is a canard.
We talked about that earlier. Now, where'd you get the idea for that?
Well, we saw it in the book.
And is that exactly the same as the one you saw in the book?
Just about.
And how about under here? You've got some pretty good flaps happening.
Yeah, these are to make it go further.
Go further. We'll test that out a little bit later. Girls, completely different design.
Yeah, well, we made ours longer so that it should fly further, and we put these direction flaps on it to make it go in a straight line.
So it should go right straight down?
Yeah.
We'll try that out. I've made some for myself here. Completely different design again. Let's try them out. See how they fly. Ben, you give it a go first. Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, well done. It went a long way away. Hayley, you try. Yep, still went in a straight line. Kylie. Couple of twists thrown in there, Kylie. Well done. Nick, try one of mine. I think we could use that one for an aerobatic plane. How about these? Turn it round the right way. Oh, sorry, Nick. We'll knock you out with my plane. How about this one? Definitely an aerobatic plane. Well done, team. Go and get your planes. Have you ever thought about building your own paper aeroplane? They're really simple. Our team of investigators looked at length and width. But how about the nose? Maybe you could use that canard idea. And the tail, you can make the tail longer, shorter. Look, next time you go to an airport, why don't you have a look at the planes that we use today? Maybe incorporate some of those ideas with your own. Try something new. Anyway, good luck.
Aerodynamics.
Oh, what was that?
That was a paper plane.
Oh, it was moving pretty fast, wasn't it?
It was, and that would have had to do with its aerodynamics.
Aerodynamics? Oh, what's that?
Well, that's the study of how air moves over different objects, like wings and, say, on a bird or an aeroplane.
Even birds?
Yeah. Would you like to find out some more about it?
Yeah, sure.
OK, well, we can do a really simple experiment with this piece of paper, but before I do that, I want you to imagine we've got an aeroplane wing here, Ooze, on the table, and it's sticking out that way.
Right.
Okay? And we cut it in half.
Cut it in half? If you do that, it won't be able to fly, Sue.
It's good for this experiment. Just imagine what it would look like when we cut it in half.
Right.
It'd be flat on the bottom, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You watching this?
Yeah.
Okay. And it'd be curved on top, sort of curved over there and coming a bit sharper down here, wouldn't it?
Wow, sure would.
That shape is called an aerofoil.
Aerofoil?
And it's that shape which makes the plane wing lift up into the air.
Wow!
Okay, now the reason is that as that wing goes through the air moving over the top has to go further than the air moving underneath. Does
And
that make
helps
sense?
us, that helps us stay in the air, does it?
Well, the air moving over the top has to move further and faster, which means there's less pressure on top than underneath, and so the wing gets lifted up into the air.
Wow!
Now, to show you that, I'm going to use a piece of paper.
Paper?
Okay? Yeah. Now, I'm going to blow over the top and you watch what happens.
Okay. Oh, look, it's going up.
Did it?
Yeah, but you're blowing on top of it.
Would you like to have a go?
Sure, yeah, give me a go.
All right. Now, just...
Okay, so I put it there and I just blow over the top of it, do I? Okay.
Oh, Ooze, I should have known you'd do something like that.
Yeah, sorry, so I had a bit of excess water in me.
But it was the fast-moving air over the top of the piece of paper that caused it to lift because there was less pressure there.
Right.
Now, aeroplanes have got a bit of a problem, though. As you build planes that go fast,
Yeah.
you have this problem called drag. And that's due to air resistance.
Right.
So aeroplane designers have to make sure that the planes are streamlined. Would you like to see how aeroplanes have changed through time?
Oh, I sure would, yeah.
OK, well, come with me and we'll have a look at some of these. This plane is called a tiger moth, and the first thing you notice is that it's got 2 sets of wings. That's because in the old days, the planes were made out of heavy materials like wood and steel, and the motors weren't very powerful. So to get that extra lift, they needed 2 sets of wings. But by the 1930s, Ooze, there were new building materials available, like aluminium, and aluminium's lighter than steel and wood.
Sure is.
This aeroplane's called a Catalina, and it was made with those sorts of materials. And the first thing you notice about this is it's only got 1 set of wings. It was powered by 2 propeller engines over here.
Yeah.
OK, then during World War II, we had a big development in aeroplane technology. These days, we've got jet engines, and we've got one here on a passenger plane. There are actually 4 jet engines that provide the power. This plane can hold lots and lots of people, and to get that lift, it's got big wings, and you can see that they're also streamlined to reduce some of that drag. Today, we've also got powerful jet fighters like this one, and just have a look how streamlined it is. It's again got jet engines, but the wings are tucked away at the side, and that reduces the drag. But if this plane wants to move slowly, say it wants to do a sudden turn, it needs to slow down, it can increase the drag by putting its wings out. And it can do that in mid-flight. That'll cause it to slow down, and then it can take that sudden turn. And then to speed up again, it streamlines again, and the wings are tucked back. We can also fly in supersonic jets, like this Concorde. It's got the supersonic jets to give it power. It can hold lots of people, but look how streamlined it is so that it reduces its drag. And there we have a quick history of aeroplanes. Now, Ooze, which was your favourite of all of those?
They're all pretty cool, aren't they? I can't wait to go for my first flying lesson soon.
Oh, no! Quiz time!
I've got a question. Name the 3 stages of digestion for a sandwich.
Oh, I can do that easy. The mouth, the stomach, and the duodenum.
Well done.
Thank you.
Here's an investigation for you to try. Get a piece of paper and see if you can design a jet that can do a somersault.
Oh, I
a
hope you had
paper
better.
one? Yeah.
Hope you had better luck than what Robin did.
Look, mine was okay, but I'm sure you can do better.
Listen,
sure
it's time
they
for us to
can.
go. See you on our next show. Bye-bye.
Bye.